everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Crafting and Crime Daily, the show where I, Rebecca, your host, aka Crafting Journey, recaps live trials. We're currently covering the trial of Lori Vallow Daybell. Now, the other trial that was live on YouTube, Letitia Stout, she was being tried for the death of her stepson. I did not cover it because it was so gruesome what she did to this child. In any case, the jury came back. She pled not guilty by reason of insanity. The jury did not buy that. They found her guilty on all counts. The judge threw the book at her and gave her 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, and threw in some other stuff for the other charges. In any case, she's going away. So this case today is all about text messages. Now, here's what, when you listen to these text messages, I want your honest reaction in the comments. You don't have to type anything. If you're not used to typing a comment, just leave me an emoji that represents your reaction, your true reaction to hearing these text messages. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and then we're going to start. We're going to dive right in. Now, yesterday was the start of week 5 of testimony, day 24. That includes jury selection. On the stand was retired FBI agent Doug Hart. Now, he was on the stand Friday and he read some of the text messages, but I'm going to cover it all today. They didn't really get into the meat of it on Friday. These text messages occurred between July of 2019 and November of 2019. So right in that area where all this stuff is going down. Charles's death, Tylee's death, JJ's death, Tammy's death, Alex's death. 5 deaths surrounding, and 1 attempted death. Anything else? Oh my gosh. For God's sakes. Okay. Now, I've got all the text messages here, so I am going to be reading them. Let's see where it starts. So they're arguing over the witness. That's how the day started yesterday. They're arguing over a witness that's going to be on the stand tomorrow who wanted to bring in the book. The prosecution actually wanted to introduce the book that Chad wrote called James and Elena. It's a love story. Now, the judge ruled and said no. Well, he actually said it can come in, but he doesn't want the jury reading it. He doesn't want the jury reading this book. Yeah. I want to read the book. Actually, I need to find it. It's a romance novel. I want to see if it's any good. Is this Chad guy a really good writer, or he's a very good manipulator, as you're going to see through some of these text messages. Now, what I told you yesterday was these text messages were all presented in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. So the first thing up on the screen is a text message from Chad to Lori on July 15th of 2019. Now, this is 4 days after the death of Charles Vallow. He died on July 11th of 2019. And he says to her, I know you won't get this text for another hour or so, but my love for you is overflowing right now. I just want to hold you endlessly. You are my wonderful best friend that I can't live without. 2 heart emojis. These 2 love their emojis. So then she says to Chad, and yet you are so sad, missing you, just landed, gotta get to work. Kiss lips emoji. Is there an emoji for that? I think there is. That would be mine. So Doug Hart, his comment was that it was clear to investigators that the relationship between Chad and Lori was the driving force in the crimes that are alleged in this case. Well, I don't disagree with that. So then the next slide that they put up is from July 18th of 2019. Now, we're 7 days, 1 week after the death of Charles Vallow. Lori says to Chad, I just got the letter from the insurance company saying that I am not the beneficiary. It's a spear through my heart. Who do you think he changed it to? Brandon or probably Kay? He left nothing for JJ. Chad says to Lori, wow, that's terrible. There's no way to find out. Lori says to Chad, I might be able to see when I get his computer on Sunday. I could check the emails I sent to the insurance company. It will show change of beneficiary. He must have done it recently. Ooh, she is not happy. Yeah, he changed it to K. Smart man. So Chad tells Lori that there should be a paper trail, and this is another step to bringing down the, I don't know how to say this, Gadatians, especially Brandon. I don't know what that word means. Gadiantons, or how to say it. Lori responds that he, Charles, can change the life insurance at any time. Chad says, it will be interesting if you got changed after he had 2 bullets in his chest. Lori responds that it can't be changed after the death date. Chad tells Lori that he thinks Kay is the beneficiary, and she was probably freaking out after Lori got those computers. Okay. So the attorney asked Doug Hart, the FBI guy, what does Gadatians mean? Oh, good. I'm glad she asked. I'm glad. The Gadatians were a secret society from the Book of Mormon. I am sure that I am butchering the name of that thing. Gadiantons? Maybe that's how you say it. A group of evil people. When the phrase is used, it identifies someone as being evil. In this case, Brandon Boudreaux. Now, Brandon Boudreaux, as you may recall, was Lori's niece, Melanie's ex-husband, and they did try to kill him, but were not successful. My. Okay. Oh, this one gets good. July 18th. Continuation of this conversation that is happening 1 week after Charles's death. Charles texts to Lori, I have been instructed to focus my efforts on Hillary, so I will. Now, Hillary is the evil spirit that has inhabited Tylee Ryan, the 17-year-old. Chad to Lori. Okay, find out her percentage for me and JJ. Chad to Lori. She is at a 0.13. I turned up the pain to 10 and placed a spiritual virus in her. He is at 99.99. Raphael visited him and told him to follow Amy into the light. I also assured him that James would love and take care of his mommy, which he will with all of his heart and soul. Lori to Chad. That is sweet. I miss you desperately. Now, what the heck are they talking about? So they're talking about the light and dark scale. So if you are really, really low or really, really high, that means you are very close to death. So they're referring to Hillary as being really, really low on the scale, 0.13. Now, this is like a couple of months before these children are killed. And the other one that he's referring to, 99.99, which is really, really high, is JJ. Scary. Now, so there were 3 total conversations regarding the death percentages of JJ Tylee and Tammy Daybell. Another occurred on July 30th, and the third occurred on August 10th. So the closer an individual was to 100, the closer they were to their death. Okay. Same thing if they're closer to 0 or close to 100. Wow. Says who? Oh my. Did he just make this up? Oh gosh, I guess he did. So, another text message, same day, July 18th, 1 week after Charles's death. You are so adorable, beautiful, wonderful, heavenly, luscious, and angelic. So many divine attributes rolled into one dynamic, desirable package. I want you even more desperately than you want me. This is Chad talking to Lori. Just grab me by the storm and I will follow you to the ends of the universe. Lori asks, when might that be? Chad responds, Wednesday evening, and then repeatedly and gloriously until Friday. Lori replies, and then what? Chad says, back to crying and saying goodbye. Back to the box. Chad to Lori. This trip to Utah has a lot of finality to it. I was told extreme changes are coming to me and to Utah. So apparently, he refers to his private parts as the storm. You can pause this if you want to like roll on the floor and laugh, because yeah. Oh my God. I know that men name their penises, but the storm? Okay. The storm is coming. I think we're going to have a storm here today. Oh no, the sun is out now. This morning when I walked the dogs, the sun was not out. I mean, I thought it was going to rain any second. That's how it is here in Wichita. One second you think it's going to rain, the next second, yeah, it's just, it never does. We get so little rain, it's ridiculous. Just ask my lawn. Okay, continuing on, 2 days later. Now we're, 12 days out from the murder of Charles Vallow. Chad says to Lori, they're talking about Melanie Boudreau's children. One of them is named Blake. Now, Lori asked Chad, what's Blake's percentage? He drew 3 crosses on the wall in his bedroom. We just finished painting over them, like he was marking it for the dark side to find him. Chad to Lori, Blake is a 7. I took my sword of life and sliced his aura vertically in several places. You should be able to now rip and burn it. I also decreased his pain tolerance to 1% and greatly increased his pain. His desire to depart is at 80%. Okay, the next day, Lori says to Chad, found it. Ned gave all of it to Rhonda. So, Ned was the name of the evil spirit that inhabited Charles. Rhonda is the evil spirit that inhabits Kay. So she's referring to the life insurance that Charles did leave all of that money to Kay. So Chad says, glad you found that out. And then she says, it fits. Now she will try to take him. Thanks for working on her. Work on me too. Reading all this stuff makes me sick. Chad says to Lori, we will work hard on Rhonda when we are together. I will get her numbers as low as I can by Wednesday. Lori says to Chad, good, let's work on it hard. So were they planning to kill Kay as well? Oh my gosh. So on July 21st at 2019 at 8:17 p.m., Chad went by James and Lori is going by Elena. And this is the start of their romance novel. It begins with James and Elena visiting the temple and then returning to a hotel room for additional romance on the couch. They calmed their nerves enough to give each other a blessing. As James placed his hands on her head, he connected with Elena's true eternal self. He knew he was in the presence of an exalted goddess who had returned to Earth to perform a special mission. The mission included being with him, and they would progress together as translated beings. The full plan wasn't yet completely clear to him, but the immense power radiating from her confirmed his belief that she was among the greater women in the universe. This sounds like an interesting book. Fiction, ladies and gentlemen, fiction. They embraced following the blessings, and the emotions they felt were a mixture of eternal bliss and celestial desire. The sexual chemistry was undeniable, but the spiritual unity was a glorious bonus for them both. They had only known each other for 3 weeks. Lori responds, she loves it. Chad responds with a long message about being sealed in the temple, their spirits and their bodies. I found the text of the entire book. I'm not going to read it, but I got to read this later and then tell you what I think. Yeah. So on July 21st, Lori says to Chad, it's making me so happy to read about our life that I'm finally going to dance, missing you and loving you from afar. Lori says to Chad, it was great. I feel free again. I love you more than ever and can't wait to be with you forever. I'm begging Father and Mother. That's my job tonight. Chad says to Lori, it will be right beside you, bugging you. All of these messages have multiple lip and heart emojis. Okay. July 22nd, Chad texts to Lori and says he's going to see The Other Side of Heaven, which is, I guess, a movie, with his son, and she says he will like it because the scenery looks like Kauai. Hopefully we will be there someday soon together. Lori says to Chad, he responds, that is the plan and my greatest desire. Then when the movie's over, Chad texts her and says, I look forward to being on a tropical island with you. On the 23rd, Lori says to Chad, good morning, missing you, didn't sleep much, need you to check JJ. Weird stuff happened in the middle of the night. It's like they distracted us with Blake. That's Melanie's son. Lori then texts Chad, when you get home, check Tylee. She's being super sweet and helpful, and she cleaned her room. See if she got switched. Totally not her. Chad says to Lori, yes, she was switched. Please let me know when you can talk, and I will explain it. On the 26th, Lori sends Chad, this is still in July, a text asking him to check JJ. She said he was calm and he watched movies all day, which he would never do. Chad responds, it is still JJ. I'm told she is lying about him being calm and watching movies. Lori responds, Mel knew. She called me. She felt the real Brighton. That's another one of Melanie's children. Last night and knew she was different. She was told I didn't want to tell her. She is taking it well and knows it's part of the big plan. She's amazing. Although I'm still pretty upset about it. I love you. Missing your kisses. So now they have identified that Melanie has 2 children. Remember, I've been very concerned for those children. Blake and Brighton that have evil spirits in them. So that same day, Chad texts Lori, I'm home, missing you immensely and feeling very tired, but I had a splendid time with you, my love. I will text you again soon. Chad then texts, tonight I figured out who I feel like. I'm a grown-up version of Harry Potter who has to live with the Dudleys in the little space under the stairs. Every few weeks, I get to escape and have amazing adventures with my goddess lover. But then I have to return to my place under the stairs, feeling trapped, but I sense permanent freedom is coming. Harry Potter? So this next text message occurs when Chad sends this to Lori when Lori is on vacation with Melanie and her 2 children, Blake and Brighton. Chad says to Lori, one question, do you want me to cause pain yet to those 2 3s you're riding with? Lori to Chad, probably. Hold off on this then till we arrive. This will be a mistake to deal with. But I'll text you if they start acting up and we can zap them. Miserable, not mistake. Chad says to Lori, sounds great. Yes, if they are going to act up, we'll at least give them a reason to scream. I love, cherish, treasure, and adore you. The wonderful memories just keep coming back. You are mesmerizing. Raphael is one lucky guy. Oh my God. What were they doing to those kids, causing them to scream? I don't think I want to know. Oh my God. The next one has to do with Kay Woodcock asking Lori if she can send JJ for Charles's memorial service. So Kay is begging Lori to allow JJ to attend his dad's memorial service. We miss you so much. I'll leave in the morning to get him if you'd allow it. I'm begging you, please. Lori forwards that message to Chad, and Lori responds that they are jerks and she isn't responding ever. And there is no communication ever again with Kay from Lori. And she did not let him go to the memorial service. So the next set of text messages comes on August 7th. Apparently, Chad and Lori have a little bit of a falling out. So Lori texts Melanie Boudreau, her niece, we just had a big fight. Probably no go on next week. Melanie to Lori, are you okay? Chad to Lori, my heart is crushed. I will never stop loving you. Melanie to Lori, I love you. If you need to talk at all, just call me. I don't sleep anyways. Hang in there, baby. It was a hard day. Don't let the dumb things here get to you. You know who you are. praying for our hearts to be made full and for the Lord to execute all these things expeditiously. Chad to Lori, missing you, heading to the girls' funeral. Emma was her teacher and is one of the speakers. This is very difficult, but I will abide by your request to not talk. I hate causing you pain because I love you more than ever. Then, several hours later, Chad again to Lori. You're the best. I hope your day goes well. I adore you. Then, several hours later, Chad is again texting Lori. Absolutely excruciating to be cut off from you. I love you. Again, none of these texts Lori is responding to. He then sends a text saying, Lori has lost the protections he gave her, and if she will at least respond with a thumbs up, he will work to restore the protections. And then she responds, I love you. So this is what I was talking about with the manipulation. Like, he's like this teenage boy. I remember my son when with his first love, and when she wouldn't text him back, and he's crying in the backseat of my car, and I really love her, Mom, and anyway. So he goes on to say to her, Grandpa Keith is here. I'm supposed to warn you that you're unprotected. The angels are angry that you are ignoring me, but he says he isn't allowed to. I'm honestly not trying to manipulate you to respond. I understand that you need your space, but they say you cut me off, and the protection I built around your house is gone. I love you and don't want you getting attacked. They said if you at least give me the thumbs up, it will restore our protections. Okay. Apparently this grandpa was a dead grandpa that visited him. So right around the times of the deaths of the children during the testimony yesterday, they're showing pictures. I don't see any particular Chad to Lori and Lori to Chad texts that reference the actual deaths. But going forward to October, the month that Tammy died, he texts Lori and he says, hello, sweet angel, big news about Tammy. Please let me know if you're awake and can talk. Chad then texts that Tammy has been switched. Tammy is in limbo, and a level 3 demonic entity named Viola is in her body. It happened at around 10 p.m. and was done by Tammy's sister, Sam, who I always knew was 3D, but in terms of Sam is much like Brandon. She has been my biggest enemy over the years. She refuses to read my books and threw the biggest fit when we moved to Idaho. She has only visited us when the kids got married and always fled Idaho within hours, like she was being burned. She's definitely comparable to Brandon in Summer. Then Chad says to Lori, not fully sure of the timing for removal, but once her actions verify the differences, I don't want to wait. On October 19th, the day that Tammy died, Lori gets a text message from an unknown individual at 10:33 a.m. She was in Hawaii at that point with Melanie. And the text says, I'm not sure if you heard, but Chad's wife died last night. Lori responds, oh my gosh, I did not hear that. I'm in Hawaii and it's 6 a.m. Do you know what happened? The person responds, yes, she awoke in the night, coughing, threw up, collapsed, and passed away. Now, that night, the night that Tammy died, Chad had texted Lori, not fun without you. Can you call me? Lori responds, how are you doing is the question. Chad to Lori, I'm hanging in there. My parents are staying here and we are still getting visitors, but I can call you soon. Now, the next text is around midnight on October 20th, the day after she died. She died the morning of overnight, the 19th and the 20th. So the night of the 20th, Chad says to Lori, percentage in the body, whole SAR 24, Eucola 11, Grism 14. Great job on lowering them. I loved you talking. Great job on lowering them. I love talking with you. It is baby night, so come get me later. And then the next morning, Chad to Lori, missing you so much, I can feel you in bed with me, though. Can't wait to hold you tightly every day and night. Lori to Chad, I'm missing you more. I need you desperately. I can't wait. Need you to hold me tight. That would be great. What about the idea of you coming here Thursday or Friday? Or do you want me to come home? Chad says to Lori, their apartment is haunted and we can't clear the place, so they are looking to move away, and I have the perfect place for them. I need to be here to get sorting the financial stuff. Chad asks Lori to look for a condo for them in Hawaii. Chad texts Lori, I want to get going full steam on the Lily workout plan. Tighten the abs, get a full body tan, grow my hair out. This could be a really good for both of us. Lori says to Chad, I love that plan. They go back and forth about how they miss each other and want to be with each other. Interesting. He says, I'm sad, but not for the reasons you'd think. And this is the day after his wife dies. Yeah. Now, on October 23rd, Lori texts Chad, I had a bad dream about Al. Make sure he's still him and protect him. Lori says to Chad, he would be the one they used to get to both of us. All this alone time is not good for him. Chad says to Lori, I will try to reach out to him later today. Chad says, I just cleared all of Al's weapons, curses, and cords and filled him with malachite healing balm. I also put angels around him. And then in another message, he says, Alex Cox, multiple creation, fourth creation, exalted 9 times, sibling to me 2 times on fourth creation, and became eternal companions after fourth creation. His mission is to help Lori. So the prosecutor asked Doug Hart, from November 2019 until June of 2020, did the FBI and law enforcement ever stop looking for JJ and Tylee? Hart says no. So the prosecutor said, did you ever see any evidence that J.J. Vallow was alive after September 2019? Hart said no. Smith said, did you ever see any evidence that Lori was looking for him or trying to help him after September 22nd of 2019? And he says no. So on cross-examination, Attorney Thomas actually asked Doug Hart, doesn't this really seem more like a game of Dungeons and Dragons with dice? And Hart says, well, yeah, except for the people that are actually killed. So another point that was brought out on cross-examination was how Chad would manipulate all these women, and which is what I've said from the beginning. He's just a master manipulator with women in general. And the attorney for the prosecutor actually on redirects, she says to him, did Lori ever manipulate Chad or others? And he said yes. And then she asked him, of all the other women Chad's communicated with, did any of them have children dead or buried in Daybell's backyard? And he says no. And he was asked to no further questions. You may leave the stand. So that was the entire day yesterday with these text messages. And I did not read them all. Just the, more salacious ones, So let the storm jokes begin. I'm not even going to go there. Okay. So, guys, let's go to the crime calendar because we're really into this video today. Okay. So yesterday we talked about the trip that Rebecca went on with her friend Claudia Brenner, hiking in the Appalachian Trail, when they run into this guy named, what was his name? Stephen Roy Carr. So they pack up their bags and they go, and they're going to stay in a different location that they think is a little bit more private and away from this Carr guy. So 30 minutes after Witt and Brenner left their original campsite, they stopped at an intersection. They checked their map. Carr, who sometimes lived in a nearby cave, came up behind them, carrying a .22 caliber rifle across his shoulders. Brenner said he stopped about 25 feet from the couple and shouted, "Are you lost already?" To which she responded, "No, are you?" in what Carr would later describe as a pissy way. Witt and Brenner were unnerved by Carr once again, but as the day wore on, they relaxed into their vacation, Distracted by a strenuous hike and invigorated by the beautiful scenery, they set up to camp at another site, ate dinner, and began to have sex. They had no idea that Carr was just 80 feet away, watching them. Ooh, part 3 tomorrow. Oh my goodness. This might be more interesting than the text messages. What a creep. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is the show for today, guys. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It does help YouTube push out my videos so other people can find the content here. I enjoyed this today, guys. I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Hopefully we're getting to the end of this trial, really and truly, or the end of the prosecution's case in chief. So a couple more witnesses they have said they're going to put on today. So I will see you tomorrow when I describe those witnesses for today. Bye, everybody.